This video will cover creating a new MEDIN Discovery metadata record using the online tool. If you've never used the online tool before, you can register an account using the Register for an Account button. But if you already have an account, you can log in using your login details here. Once you've logged in, you'll see your dashboard along with any recent records that you have edited. To create a new record, enter a title in the box provided and then select from the drop-down menu what type of resource you're trying to describe. So in this case we will choose a dataset, but you could also have things like series or services. In this case I won't tick this box because I don't want this test record to be passed on to data.gov.uk. A good dataset title will contain information on when, who, where and what. When should be the date the dataset was made. The who is who generated the data. Where is the location the dataset covers, and what is a brief description of what the dataset contains. So we have here 2020 MEDIN online workshop test. And we'll create. You'll then be brought to this page where you'll be able to fill in more information about the dataset you're describing. The question mark icons will give you additional information on the element. For example, this one is optional, which means that if the information is not known, its absence will not invalidate the record. If you do know the information, you should always put it in, as it makes the metadata more informative. Mandatory elements are highlighted in blue. These ones must be filled in, otherwise the record will not be valid. Conditional elements are highlighted in green and should be filled in under certain circumstances only. Guidance is available on this from the question mark. Optional elements do not have a fill colour. So it's recommended you work your way through these different tabs, filling in as much information as you can along the way. Some fields will have controlled vocabularies that you'll be able to pick options from. For example, EPSG codes are listed, so you would just have to pick the correct one for your dataset. Another example of controlled vocabularies is keywords. MEDIN recommends that you select your keywords from the P02 vocabulary if possible. These are listed here. But if an appropriate term is not available and you have a different thesaurus that you would like to use, you can add the keyword value here. A little tip for the bounding box section. Sometimes the map doesn't load, but if you click the plus at the right hand side of the screen, choose Google Satellite and then go back to Google Physical, then it will be loaded. You'll then be able to zoom into the area that your dataset covered using the plus and minus at the top left of the map screen. Then find the Add Bounding Box button in the red box at the bottom left of the map screen. Select it and then draw a box around the area that your dataset covered. You can draw multiple boxes by holding Control and then drawing a second box. When we scroll down, we can see that the boundary positions are automatically filled in for both boxes. So we can then save the geographic data, and that automatically moves us on to the Extent tab. The Contacts tab contains information on the organisations involved in generating the data and metadata. Each entry can be populated using a drop-down list. MEDIN recommend using organisation and job role rather than an individual's name. When selecting from the drop-down, it will default to a list of roles, but avoid selecting one and begin typing the name of the appropriate organisation instead. For example, I'll do this for the British Geological Survey. This then limits the selection to only roles and names linked to this company. And following MEDIN's recommendations, I'll choose Data Manager from British Geological Survey, Edinburgh, as the contact information I'm looking for. If your contact information is missing, you can add the details with the Add a Contact option at the bottom of the page. Once all the contacts are complete, remember to save the contact data and then continue on. Once we've completed all the tabs and all of the mandatory elements, you can save and validate your record. Because I haven't filled out all of the mandatory elements, the online tool displays an error to say that this is not valid MEDIN XML, and shows some details about which elements need to be filled in. At this point, if you have errors, you can go back and fix these, but hopefully if you filled out everything correctly, you'll get a lovely green validation box to say that you've successfully validated your XML.